Good morning, Cedar Lane. Good morning. Let's do that one more time. Good morning, Cedar Lane.
Good morning, Adam.
There we go. That's the spirit. So, welcome to Cedar Lane, those of you that are here in person, those of you that are joining us online, those of you that are in the back. You can continue your conversation. You can join us in singing. You can talk to your neighbor if you want. It's all good. We're going to get started with the service, and our first hymn is going to be 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, and I do believe the lyrics will be on your screen.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Open your ears.
Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Open your hearts.
Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Enter and rejoice.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Awesome. I hear a lot of great voices. Choir rehearsal is Wednesday nights. You're free to join. And our second hymn, 346, Come, Sing a Song with Me. Come, sing a song with me.
Come, sing a song with me. Come, sing a song with me. Come, sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in
and this one might be a little different for us, but it is number 336, All My Memories of Love.
All my memories of love hang upon my stars. All the souls I've lost to tears now the autumn jars. And the air around me here thickens with their song. Sing again their nameless to sing again and strong. Willows in September touch the water clear, set among the rushes tall of the flowing year. As the sun, the sunlit past comes the shadowed star, running toward me silently, love to fortify. Many are the graceful hearts hung upon this tree, and it seems there's room for mine on these branches free. And the sky above the tree, whether wet or bright, is my ease and comforting, my good news and light.
And at this time, again, my name is Adam Graham. I am your music ministry director, and I welcome you to Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Bethesda. And in that spirit, let's welcome and greet one another. Say hi to those you've seen a million times. Say hi to somebody you haven't seen. If you're in the front, say hi to somebody in the back. If you're on this side, say hi to somebody over here. Know that you are welcome in this space.
Welcome. Good to see you.
Hello.
Hey, oh, that's so cool. Yes.
The words are on your screen.
Singing welcome, welcome to this space. You're invited to come and take your place. All are welcome to grow in love and grace. 'Cause everyone is welcome here.
All are welcome.
All are welcome in this space.
Good morning. Let's try it again. Maybe can you hear my mic? I can't hear it. How about now? And I want to check with our friends who are using the loop system. Is the loop system working? Can everyone hear who needs to use our assistive listening devices? Are you hearing all of the words that you need to hear? Did we turn it on upstairs? It's on? All right. We are ready. Rocking and rolling. Good morning. I'm the Reverend Ali K.C. Bell, and my pronouns are he or they. You can also just not use any pronouns and call me Reverend Ali. Welcome to Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist congregation. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your beliefs, gender identity, documentation status, and disability, whether you're joining us for the first time or the 15th, 100th time, and that would be great, right, if you were, and whether you're joining us in person or online, at home, or from a little coffee shop somewhere, you're welcome to bring your full self here. A special welcome to those who are new to Cedar Lane this morning. And if you're joining us for the first time today, or you're still feeling a little newish, please raise your hand if you're in person, or add your name if you're down in the chat, and we will bring you in person a tiny little present. And if you're in chat, can everyone just say welcome? And thank you. And let's give everyone here a warm Cedar Lane applause. Thank you for coming. We realize where we're situated in the DMV, and you have like maybe 16 congregations you could have chosen from today. So thank you for coming to ours. You're invited to complete the newcomer form that was in the little bag that you got. And in the chat, they will be linked. And today, you can join Reverend Abhi after service in the chapel, which is just out here and around the corner, and just ask anyone in this room. They can point you in the direction of the chapel to learn more about Unitarian Universalism in our UU 101 class at noon today. It sounds like a lot, but it's pretty succinct, and you'll get a lot of information. If you'd like to know more about the course online, you can see that in our e-news. And our e-news, by the way, is really a great way to get to know more about our congregation. How many people actually open the e-news? Are you serious? Wow. I knew I liked you all, but now I just like you even more. How many people click past the first page? Okay, so you're better than me. Fine, whatever. No, I'm just kidding. I happen to know what's there. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's really great. That's awesome. You all really know what's going on. And our pastoral visitors right here is Barbara Tomar. She's our pastoral visitor today, and she's available to support you in person. I just want to say, I know that our congregation has gone through a lot of losses. I've been here for 7 months now. This is starting my 7th month. And we've lost 14 members of our congregation. So if you're feeling a little bit just out of sorts and you don't know why, this whole congregation is grieving. And if you don't have grief in your personal life and you can't figure it out, it might just be that, okay? So our pastoral visitors are here to support you. And you can reach out to us at any point to do that. You can reach out to us online, you can give me a call, or you can email us at email me at abel@cedarlane.org. We'll get you in touch, or pastoral visitors at cedarlane.org, okay? We gather in gratitude for all who've gone before us, whose love and labor helped create this and sustain this mission and ministry of this religious community. And Cedar Lane is situated on the ancestral lands of the Nakash Tank and Piscataway group of tribes, and on the land of the enslaved African people and their descendants who labored and lived without choice or reward. We honor with gratitude the land and the people who've protected it for generations. And we honor with gratitude the generations of people here in this congregation who've kept Cedar Lane going strong. We gather in gratitude. In this spirit, we gather. And in this spirit, we worship.
Good morning. I'm Barb Warman, the worship associate for today's service. My pronouns are she, her. As Dan Coyle and Sheila Marr kindle the chalice, please share in the chat where you are lighting your chalice from. Please rise in body and/or in spirit to share the chalice lighting words. With humility and courage born of our history, we are called as Unitarian Universalists to build the beloved community where all souls are welcome as blessings and the human family lives whole and reconciled. With this vision in our hearts and minds, we light our chalice. Join us in singing hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit. Rise as you are willing and able.
Well, you all did a great job singing that. I love that hymn. Anybody else love that hymn? Yes, that's my joint. The great thing about creating services is that you get to sing some of the stuff you like to sing. I have a few announcements for you, and they're all pretty important, so I'm not going to race through them. But the first one has cupcakes involved. So, did you know that the annual fund drive is going to begin in 1 week? I know. It's like the weather's so wonky that you wouldn't know, but it really is. And to thank you in advance, in the lounge next Sunday after service, you can come and get a delicious cupcake while you're there and take advantage of a chance to pledge before renovations begin. And access to our lounge goes from complicated to non-existent. There will be volunteers who can help you fill out your pledge card and answer any questions. So I feel like it's a win-win. Get a cupcake, pledge early, and be able to just go into the lounge to do it. Next week, do the thing, you know. All right. Today is UU 101. We talked about that, so that's exciting. It's just a one-session introduction for people who need it to Unitarian Universalism. It's a great one for anyone seeking to connect more deeply and to learn about Unitarian Universalism. And it is in the chapel. If anyone asks you where the chapel is, how many people can tell them? Raise your hand. All right, cool. The construction task force. We're building a new way, right? We're building a new way. This is what we wanted. I just keep saying, I know I just got here, but this is what they said they wanted. Woo. Y'all said y'all wanted this, right? Okay. The construction task force is working hard to prepare the way for construction activities beginning in early March. We are grateful to all of you who are helping to clean out areas of the building that will be unavailable during construction. And I have to tell you, there are a lot of you, just like little ants everywhere, just everywhere, and it's amazing. And a variety of jobs still need doing. So we need things from organizing cabinets to moving furniture. So if you'd like to pitch in, I'm supposed to say if you'd like to pitch in, but since I'm preaching about beloved community today, this is a community. If you don't pitch in, the work doesn't get done. So pitch in. Our logistics team is holding work days tomorrow, Monday, February 20th, from 10 to 4, or next Sunday, February 26th, from 12:30 to 4. And you can check the e-news on, or our other website, whereloveworks.org. Has anybody been there yet? I've been there. It's pretty cool. You got to go over there. You'll find out other stuff you don't know to sign up. And thank you for your help and support. So just a little bit, every little bit helps. You don't have to be here the whole time. Just give a little bit of time, and we can get the job done, all right? So now we are going to move into a space of naming and sharing the joys of this community and beyond. So we're going to stop, we're going to center ourselves, and we're going to move into sharing our joys and sorrows. Okay?
Center ourselves and enter into this moment, calling upon all the sources of love that are within, among, and around us. We lift up those in our community who are living through significant passages, the small and extraordinary milestones of life. We pause to be present to our spiritual companions and to the concerns of our own hearts. Within our Cedar Lane community, we send condolences to the Richardson's family at the death of Virginia Richardson, who died January 22nd, surrounded by her family in Roswell, Georgia. A celebration of life will be held in the spring at River Road Unitarian Universalist congregation, where she was a longtime member before joining Cedar Lane. Carolyn Avery is asking for prayers for Jack and his family, who are longtime friends of hers. Jack is 3 years old and has an inoperable brain tumor. His family appreciates our support over the next few months as they spend time with Jack. We send healing wishes to Leslie Backus and Greg Cassidy, who are both recovering from COVID. Healing wishes for Betsy Shaw, who is recovering nicely from her hip replacement surgery on February 3rd. prayers for Kathleen Holmay's brother Jerry, who's in an ICU in Minneapolis. Ezra Town's rescheduled shoulder surgery is next week. There's a meal train sign up to help the family, and you will find the link for that in the e-news. All support is appreciated. Our caring extends beyond Cedar Lane to those whose lives are lost and whose lives are impacted by war, violence, and calamities in our nation and in our world. May these friends of ours, our companions in the world, and all the joys and sorrows we hold in our hearts be held in the embrace of meditation and silence.
As we enter the silence together, you're invited to rise in body and or in spirit and speak the name of the loved ones that you are holding in remembrance or share their names in the chat. You're also invited to light a candle for your loved ones or anyone that you're concerned about over at our table here. Olivia Ward. Yusuf Bell. You may be seated if you're standing. Holy One, known by many names, we are gathered here, a community of communities, loving each other the best ways that we can, hoping to grow together, hoping to hold all of the things that need to be held, hoping to be better for each other, for the world. Holy One, great and gracious One, thank you for this ability that we have to separate our egos, from what truly, truly matters when we are hurting. Thank you for the abilities that we have to come back together again, to return again, to connect again. Precious One, thank you for reconciliation, for the courage to trust and to love. It is not easy. For the courage to speak when others are silent. For the courage to build a new way when there doesn't seem to be a way. The one who has given us science and reason. Let us rely on those very things to find the ways of being that get us all free. And for those of us who believe in humanity, let us believe that we together can do this thing called living into our values, where we believe that worth and dignity is ascribed to every person. I believe that we can. I believe that we can keep trying to do it over and over in every generation. Because why not? I pray this prayer in the name of the Most High. Amen. Join us in singing Dona, Nobis, Pacem, hymn number 388. You can rise in spirit or in person as you feel willing and able.
Each Sunday, am I on? Good morning. Each Sunday we give and receive an offering to support the mission and ministry of this, our religious community, Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist congregation, and in support of a community organization that we partner with, that we are a part of, that is in alignment with our mission. The offering is both a symbolic and real way in which we demonstrate our commitment to the mission and vision of our religious community. It is symbolic in the sense that we do this every Sunday. It is real in that we give of ourselves and our love in a tangible way. It's not about the money, though money is important. It is about how we show our love and our commitment, not just for our religious community, but for the work, the ministry of our religious community. And today we are sharing our plate with AIM, Action in Montgomery. Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist congregation is one of the founding members of AIM, having been a part of it for over 20 years. And as founding partners, we have been engaged in the work of AIM in so many different ways over the years with many of our members who have been actively involved. For those of you who don't know about AIM, It is a multi-faith, multiracial community power organization that is working in Montgomery County's neighborhoods and in partnership with religious communities and community organizations, and is dedicated to making our county, our state, a better place to live and to thrive for all people. AIM believes in the ability of people to take leadership and transform their communities. Of course, to learn more about AIM's work, let us welcome AIM organizer Pilar Olmeida Gordon to come forward and share a little bit about AIM's work as well as an upcoming action that we're all going to take part in. Welcome, Pilar.
Is that okay? Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Pilar, and I am a community organizer. And I am here asking for your support. For action in Montgomery, people are the most valuable resource. And strong and mutual relationships are our most powerful weapon to build power in communities. We believe that all the residents in Montgomery County have the right to thrive, raise their families in harmony, and have the same opportunities. Our values are synchronized with yours: solidarity, equality, compassion, respect for diversity, dignity, to name a few. During my work as a community organizer, I have witnessed the power of unity and teamwork. Together with AIM, team from your congregation, led by your amazing Diane Jaunches, Gail Rayleigh, and Barbara Tomar, we have been working with strong community leaders. As an example, I would like to share that we have been organizing a group of residents on Hewitt Avenue that live in a low-income building complex with 345-unit apartments that went on sale this past December. The residents and AIM have been pushing the county to buy the apartments to ensure lower rent and better living conditions. Currently, on average, the cost of two-bedroom apartments full of mice, roaches, and mold is more than $2,000. We have been meeting with County Executive Elridge, Council Member Fanny Gonzalez from the District 6, and the Department of Housing and Community Affairs, and other authorities down the road. The Cedar Lane team has been supporting the community during this entire process. This Friday, we received the news that the county will exercise its rights of first refusal and buy the apartments for them. $67 million. And this is a big win for them, but also for all of us in the process to have a fair place to live. I invite you all to our March 12 action at the People's Community Baptist Church from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. Our campaigns are universal access to pre-K, better access to dental care for adults without insurance, affordable housing, tenants' rights, and climate justice. After the service, and if you want to know more about our work and ways to support community, the core team from this congregation and I would be happy to talk to you. Also, as part of our climate justice campaign, we brought today Barbara Briggs, an expert in carbon dioxide emissions, and she will measure the NO2 in the kitchen and talk about the impact of methane gas in our health. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pilar. So the AIM core team and Pilar will be available in the library following the service if you'd like to learn more about AIM's work and how you can be a part of it. As the ushers come forward now to give and receive an offering to sustain the work of Cedar Lane and AIM, I want to share with you that there are many ways to give. At Cedar Lane, you can give by text or online giving or PayPal, QR code, or mailing your check to or your contribution to the congregation, or placing your love offering on the collection in the collection plate. Our offering will now be given and gratefully received.
That was beautiful. I don't know if you all know, but we have lots more bells. Yeah, if you like that, you could do that. Adam's willing to teach you how, and the bell, they need more people. It's just another way that you could be involved in our congregation, in our community, our beloved community, our community of communities. I don't know about you, did you all enjoy that? It was... Our reading is from where it's an excerpt from the book, Where Do We Go From Here, Chaos or Community? It's actually the last book that was written by Martin Luther King Jr. Among the forces of white liberalism, the church has a special obligation. It is the voice of moral and spiritual authority on earth. Yet no one observing the history of the church in America can deny the shameful fact that it has been an accomplice in structuring racism into the architecture of American society. The church, by and large, sanctioned slavery and surrounded it with a halo of moral respectability. It also cast the mantle of its sanctity over the system of segregation. The unpardonable sin, thought the poet Milton, was when a man so repeatedly said, "Evil, be thou my good," so consistently lived a lie that he lost the capacity to distinguish between good and evil. America's segregated churches come dangerously close to being in that position. But the church as a whole has been all too negligent on the question of civil rights. It has too often blessed a status quo that needed to be blasted and reassured a social order that needed to be reformed. So the church must acknowledge its guilt, its weak and vacillating witness, its all too frequent failure to obey the call to servanthood. If the church does not recapture its prophetic zeal, it will become an irrelevant social club without moral or spiritual authority.
Give me a sunset
Thank you, Rachel. The reading continues. Deeply rooted in our religious heritage is the conviction that every man, remember this was 1960-something, every man is an heir to a legacy of dignity and worth. Our Judeo-Christian tradition refers to the inherent dignity of man and the biblical term, image of God. So this is me now talking. When MLK is talking about the image of God, we're thinking inherent dignity of man. The image of God is universally shared in equal portions by all men. There is no graded scale of essential worth. Every human being has etched in his personally the indelible stamp of the Creator. Every man must be respected because God loves him. The worth of an individual does not lie in the measure of his intellect, his racial origin, or his social position. Human worth lies in the relatedness to God. An individual has value because he has value to God. Whenever this is recognized, whiteness and blackness pass away as determinants in a relationship, and son and brother are substituted. Immanuel Kant said, all men must be treated as ends and never as means. The morality of segregation is that it treats men as means rather than ends, and thereby reduces them to things rather than persons. But man is not a thing. He must be dealt with not as an animated tool, but as a person sacred in himself. To do otherwise is to depersonalize the potential person and desecrate what he is. So as long as the Negro, 1960-something, or any other member of a minority group is treated as a means to an end, the image of God, their worth, is abused in him and consequently and proportionately lost by those who afflict the abuse. So, Holly Near wrote, as we just heard Rachel sing, there is a hurting in my family. There is a sorrow in my town. There's a panic in the nation, and there's a wailing the whole world round. And that pretty much sums up what's happening in the world and what has been happening in the world. And to be frank, because now I do know some of you, I know enough to say that, yeah, it sums up what's happening right here in this congregation. I know that you can relate. It struck me when I was preparing this service that I bet Dr. King could relate to those lyrics as well. I was wondering when he was penning those words, what it meant around him to be someone who was hoping so desperately as he was hoping, as also he was watching the destruction of everything that he was hoping for. He was watching segregation and joining, scarcity thinking, and communities working toward beloved community. Yet, even in those moments, he knew that any moment he could and would be harmed, jailed, and he was pretty sure, as history teaches us, he would be killed by his own government. There is wailing in our nation. His theological beliefs about beloved community were rooted in his universal, like universalist, Christian beliefs, as we heard in the readings, and also influenced by this philosopher, Josiah Royce. He was an American philosopher. Some credit him as being the founder of American idealism, who based his idea of beloved community on agape love and loyalty. I would go more into this, but Josiah Royce, many would say, was an anti-racist, and others would say, talked about his anti-racism with quite the zeal for imperialism. So I'm not sure how you can be anti-racist and an imperialist. His loyalty was that we would, as humans, evolve generation after generation to think of, to become the best that we could be, to march forward, excuse that ableist language, for the betterment of the world. But the betterment of the world was the European way of being in the world, in his opinion. And I wonder what the correlation of that is now that we are where we are right now in our own Unitarian Universalist ideas of what is good for Unitarian Universalism and what isn't. I have some other things written that I could talk about, but what I really want to talk about is Cedar Lane and beloved community, because it all starts in our community. I don't know if you all know, but I love Lisa Chernikoff very much. And Lisa, as you all know, is a tough cookie, right? And Lisa cares so deeply about this community. We can all agree on that. And the thing about Lisa and beloved community that Lisa just taught me just maybe minutes ago was that to be in beloved community, you have to be willing to be wrong sometimes. I kind of knew that, but the practice of that is really hard. I want to talk about what it means to be in beloved community when you are charging ahead with what you think is the best idea. Kind of like old guy Josiah, right? He had a really good idea. He really believed that if we continued to go forward with what was the best idea for our world, the most imperial ideas for our world, we would be good people. The thing is that he kind of just like forgot to check in with the world, you know? So, didn't really work out so well. Then came Martin Luther King Jr. and lots of other people who had a different idea of beloved community. And they thought the best way to be in beloved community is if we just get rid of segregation and become integrated together. And how many of you marched in civil rights movements and maybe even marched with Dr. King? Any of you here? My parents were very much civil rights activists. How many of you kind of grew up in that level of civil rights? Like Separation and segregation are bad. We're going to be integrated, and this is the way it goes, and we will build beloved community. And that, in some ways, that works in some ways, except for there is almost a sense of not understanding how to disagree. A sense of separating oneself to be together, stripping oneself of oneself to meld. So I like to think about community the way that Bell Hooks thinks about beloved community. Bell Hooks thinks about beloved community in her book, Killing Rage, in a way that she talks about beloved community in the community of communities. Bell Hooks says that we have to learn to disagree in a way that we don't see each other as enemies. And this morning, Lisa and I, do you mind this, Lisa? I don't mind. Lisa and I learned that we can disagree and be on the same, like we can have the same ideas. Literally, we had the same ideas. We were on the same page, just like this. And just like hurting each other and disagreeing. But we knew that on a level deep inside of ourselves, we couldn't be enemies. Because this institution, this community, is what Lisa has carried for more than a generation now inside of herself.
For 56 years.
56 years. Lisa cares. So the thing that I cherished in Lisa was that she cared. Because some people, when they get hurt, what do? Just yell it out. They leave. They leave. But Lisa, being the pain that she is, just won't leave. Thank God. Thank God. And when people won't leave, they leave a space for us to have conversation. Deborah writes a zillion emails. A zillion million, quadruple zillion. Deborah pushes us every day to do things differently. And sometimes I disagree wholeheartedly. And I will say, Deborah, no. Stop writing me emails. And sometimes I will say, Deborah, no. Damn it, she's right. And sometimes I'll say, Deborah, no, the system doesn't hold it. And guess what Deborah will say? What will you say? Change the system. Change the system. Which is hard, but also the work of beloved community. And then, all the way back here, is our guy who made me believe in Cedar Lane, Dino. Dino travels all the way from where, Dino?
Old Town Alexandria.
To Cedar Lane by what?
Metro.
Right. Dino probably does not have the same political views as 95% of you in this room. But you know what? Dino comes every week. I can count on him like a clock. Dino comes and Dino expresses his views, and people listen to him, and they have conversation, and no one pushes him out. And Dino emails the senior staff, and sometimes we email him back, and sometimes we say, enough, Dino, right? But you know what? Sometimes I learn from Dino, and I appreciate your emails. Thank you. Beloved community is not about being comfortable. It's not about always agreeing. And then we have workhorses like these guys who just keep showing up everywhere, and Kathleen Homey and Betsy, Both of them, actually, both of the Betsy's. I just learned that there were 2 Betsy's like 3 months ago. And we have families that come and bring their children. And we have the Diane Yanchez's. And we have Kevin, you came again. Yep. What's up, man? This is how we build beloved community. This is how we do it. We do it with people. We do it with people who are not perfect. We do it by saying, I disagree with you. Let's talk about it. We do it by saying, I don't know how to do that. What are you thinking about? We do it by saying, you are on my last nerve. I need to walk away from you. Don't email me again for at least 48 hours. Beloved community is not about being warm and fuzzy all the time, but it is about creating space for everyone. It's about showing up. It's about volunteering. When you just come occasionally, I'm looking at you because I remember what you told me on Friday night, and we will be using your talents. Thank you. Beloved community is about not letting 10% of the people here, I can name them, do all the work. Stop it. It's not fair. It is not fair. Show up. So often, people who say to me, Reverend Ali, we used to have 1,000 kids, and we used to have so many programs, and we used to have this, this, and this, and this, and this, and that, and the other. And I say, that's wonderful. When will you start to do those things again? And they get annoyed at me. But see, the thing is that Reverend Abhi, Reverend Dana, and myself, this is not our congregation. It's yours. Beloved community is about people like Joe in Jersey. Joanne, who showed up even through her medical emergencies every time. Betsy, who we had to keep information from so that she could get better to show up. Our Chalice, keeper of the flame. All of our people who are greeting Jack, and there are just so many people. Nancy Jansen, Eduardo, who drives me crazy. And I love him. There are so many different communities of people here. And I don't believe that we have to all fit into one. But I do believe that we have to make space for all of them. I do believe that we have to leave space open for new people to be in them. Do you want to know who I think the most welcoming community is right now? It's the choir. You can show up at any moment, and probably the bells if people knew that you could show up. You can show up at any moment and join the choir, and they will cheer you if you can count to 4. And if you can't, I think there are probably teachers there that could teach you. There are people there will cheer you on. They want you to be a part of it. But the thing is, what people don't know is that, low key, that word means underneath it all of our communities are like that. Each one of our ministries you can show up to. Now, for people like me who are working parents, who do not have time to be in your 2-hour meetings, can I get an amen? Amen. There are other ways to help. There are time-limited ways to help. There are ways that you can just come for 30 minutes to help. But to do that, y'all, I'm Southern. To do that, y'all got to learn some stuff. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You have to learn and be open to learning how to greet people who don't look like you, who don't act like you, who don't think like you, and who may have different ideas than you. You have to learn that people like me who still have breasts are he, him. And call me that. It ain't hard. You have to learn that some people's neurodivergent children will make noise and walk around. I'm a whole neurodivergent minister here. I've walked around how many times? You have to learn that there are some people here who have illnesses that noise, lots and lots of it, will throw them into so much pain, it is difficult for them to stay seated. You have to learn that even though that person drives you crazy, to be in community, if they ask you for a ride and you're going their way, you should give it to them. It's not easy to be in community, but it does ask you to live into the values you say that you believe in. And I mean, if you don't believe in them, stop saying that you do. If you want this congregation to grow, you got to do something different. I didn't come here to do hospice ministry for a congregation. I came here for a congregation to grow. That's what I'm here for. Anybody else trying to grow? You got to learn to make your own coffee. I know how to make the coffee, friends. It was easy. There are directions, and you just follow them. And I've made it. So I challenge everyone who comes here at least once to make a pot of coffee. Go and learn how to do it. And if you're afraid, ask someone, do you know how to make coffee? Can you show me how? Okay? Because it takes all of us, each and every one of us, to decide to be uncomfortable in something, to grow. It takes that. And if we don't do that, we will not grow. And in 10 years, this will be some beautiful Bethesda something else. That's what it'll be. Okay? All right. Well, since I don't have my script, I really don't know what comes next. But thank you. See, this is what I'm talking about. Thank you. Next is, please join us in the hymn, We Shall Be Known, coming up. And they'll be up here on the screen. I appreciate you. Thanks so much.
The words are actually on your screen if you could rise in body or spirit. And Kevin and Travis are going to be singing your melody line. They're going to sing it through one time, and then we'll ask you to join us.
By the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within. great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
We'll sing that one more time.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth.
It is time now.
It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Let me hear you. It is time.
It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Well, it is time now. It is time for Cedar Lane to thrive. It is time for us to live into our beloved community of communities. It is time for us to get uncomfortable. It is time for us to learn how to disagree without being enemies. It is time for us to really decide who we are, what we want, and where we are going. And in this great turning, may we learn to lead in love. May it be so. Ashe, and blessed be.
People get ready, there's a train coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. People get ready, there's a train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is key, open the doors and board them. There's hope for all, thank the Lord. Are you ready? I'm ready. 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 We can do better than that. Let's try it again. Are you ready? I'm ready. Yes. Are you ready? Yeah! Are you ready? Yes, one more. Are you ready? People get ready. There's a train